Welcome, TJ. So today we have TJ on from the Jolly Jokers team. You might know TJ from Own the Moment or just in the Top Shot streets on the Owners Club. There's a lot going on over in TJ's world when it comes to NFTs. So welcome, TJ. How's it going today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on the show. Excited to talk everything Own the Moment and Jolly Jokers with you today.
Yeah, so I know we have a lot of people that have probably heard of Own the Moment, have used the tools over there on that site, but could you just give us a little background of how you got into NFTs and what led you to Own the Moment?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my co-founder Justin Herzig and we've known each other for the past 10 years. We met working together at Capital One, and we're both big sports fans and specifically fantasy sports fans. So I've been kind of a semi-professional daily fantasy sports player for the past 10 years or so, heavy into DraftKings and FanDuel. And then early last year, last January, kind of actually for Lucky Trader's own Jonathan Bales, that article came out, and I had never heard of any of this stuff, to be honest. And I was like, okay, well, this is my first reaction was, well, that sounds dumb. But then my next one is, okay, but Bales is super sharp. There's got to be something to this. Signed up for my Top Shot account and just like instantly got hooked as a user. Like literally for 2-3 days straight, I was just on the Top Shot site watching all of the crazy volume of transactions happening, buying up a bunch of Top Shot moments. And then me and Justin just hopped on a call and we're like, hey, let's start a podcast about Top Shot because we think other people are going to be interested in it. And so that was kind of the origin of Own the Moment, and then has become a lot more since then with our content analytics site, getting into the fantasy sports side of things, and now about to launch our own PFP in the Jolly Jokers.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple things with Top Shot that sort of just clicks for people. One of things is just the ease of access to be able to onboard someone onto the blockchain without really having to understand, oh, what's this MetaMask wallet? What's all these different terms and these different coins? You're able to just go with a credit card and pay in US dollars. You understand like this player is better than that player. The simplicity of it is really what got to people. The idea that there was a need for an easier way to collect cards without having to wait a year or however long to get it graded. And, it's instantly, this is what the moment is. Here's what the play was, exactly the amount that is in the supply of it. And it just made it a lot easier for people. So I think that clicked. And then people started going down this rabbit hole of what else is there in NFTs. And so that's where it leads them to these other different projects. So from Top Shot and Own the Moment, what if the next, maybe it was on Ethereum, but what was sort of the next NFT that got you interested?
Yeah. So post Top Shot, definitely got involved in some Ethereum NFT projects. I wouldn't say that I'm like super heavy into any one in particular, but bought a couple over time. I think I've got a Lazy Lion. I know I have one of those. I've got some of the Penelope's Country Club ones from Carlini, a couple of different others from kind of the people. A lot of the people in the Top Shot community that went out into NFTs would certainly go out and make sure to support those projects. But one of the things for me personally and for Own the Moment in general is that we're sports fans first and foremost through and through, and kind of really made the decision to stick in our sports lanes pretty intentionally. So when we first got started, there were, I would say, a number of people that were doing a similar thing to what we were doing in terms of like Top Shot content and analytics. A number of those companies have since kind of gone into the ETH space, and yeah, it was a little bit of a tough decision to make because the ETH stuff was just going so crazy. It was like, man, are we doing the right thing by not trying to pivot into there? But just try to keep that long term view and perspective in play. And for me, I think sports NFTs is just like the most intuitive use case that you could have for what an NFT means. And you said it yourself there, with people are used to collecting trading cards, right? And so kind of taking that concept and saying, well, we're just replicating that on the blockchain with this concept of digital ownership. I think that's when it really clicks for people into like, okay, now I understand what this technology can enable And, there's like a real life use case where it makes sense. And then the other thing is NFTs is more than just digital collectibles, right? And I think that that's what we're starting to see now. Like early on, it was like NFT equals digital collectible. And that's really not the case, right? A digital collectible is just kind of one use case or one product that the technology of an NFT enables. And that's what really got us thinking over last summer of how can we take things to the next level in terms of utility and gamification with NFTs. And that's where we came up with this concept for the Owners Club, which is our Web3 NFT based fantasy football game, combines our two passions of fantasy football with the newer passion of NFTs. And that was really, where we saw things headed, is that idea of utility, gamification. Yes, it's great to have this awesome artwork and, be able to own that. But once I own that, what does that unlock with me beyond just having something that, I can look at in my digital wallet?
Yeah, and it's funny because I went down a similar path to that, where one of the first NFT based Ethereum projects that I was getting into was so rare because I had interest in previously playing DFS soccer, and I it clicked for me to be able to use these cards not just for collecting, but you're also trying to predict a player's future. And in 6 weeks from now, they could be the starter. So I'll pick them up now while they're cheaper. And you're able to play them every week, and you have real prizes and that sort of thing. And then that also led me to get into the Owners Club, because fantasy football is such a massive industry in the entire world. Really, it's a way that people are really able to bet on players. In Owners Club case, like, you can bet on teams, and you're able to, week over week, you can adjust if you need to, but it created a lot more strategy, and not just collecting something that's a picture that, maybe the price goes up, but you could have the actual, like, the real value to you is that you're having fun playing the game. And even if the price of the cards go down, it wasn't as big of a deal because you're still having fun playing the game. Any team could, like, go off in fantasy on a given week, right? So, I mean, I think I remember on the Owners Club, there were a few weeks where Houston Texans, the worst team in the league, basically, and if you had a Houston Texans stack, you were at the top of the leaderboard. And so it's just a different way, where if you're just collecting just random Houston Texans players on a card collecting site, then they probably never would have had value. But there's the cases where they could with these games. So how did you take for the Owners Club? Because that was on Polygon, and you had mentioned before previously you had done stuff through Dapper with Top Shot. So what was the decision for switching over to Polygon for Owners Club?
Yeah, so I can kind of walk through the whole Owners Club 101 a bit. So I guess first, for anyone that's not familiar with Owners Club, how it works is that you can buy packs of NFTs, and those each of the packs contain 5 cards, and the cards are reflective of a city and a position in football. So you could have the Kansas City wide receiver card. And how that works then is that you could, once you own the cards, play it in your lineup in a free to enter contest on Sunday. And then you score points for that entire position group. So it's not locked to one individual player. So with that Kansas City wide receiver card example, you play that in your lineup, you score points for all of the Kansas City wide receivers. And what that actually did was create a really fun dynamic where you don't have to worry about injuries or backup running backs vulturing a touchdown or some random third string tight end scoring a touchdown on the goal line. You actually still score points on every single play, which, makes it more fun and makes it an interesting sweat on Sunday. And then there's the secondary marketplace aspect on top of that, like you just talked about, where you can buy and sell the cards in the marketplace. So that's kind of the high level there. Last year, we were building on a very tight timeline. So we built it on Polygon. And this year, we are moving to the Flow blockchain. So kind of coming full circle back to our roots of Flow and Dapper Labs. And so, yeah, basically we're moving our entire ecosystem over to Flow. So the Owners Club and the Jolly Jokers PFP, both going to be on Flow with Dapper Wallet integration, meaning that the same way that you can buy a Top Shot moment or an NFL All Day moment with your Dapper balance, you'll be able to buy our products with that same balance. And what we found last year with TOC is that onboarding through Polygon is just a difficult process, especially for somebody that is not super crypto native, right? You have to get a MetaMask wallet. You have to write down your seed phrase. You have to add the Polygon network to your MetaMask wallet. Every time you come to the site, you need to make sure that you're on the Polygon network and not on the Ethereum network. So it was really just a bit of a tough onboarding process and a lot of barriers to entry. And so moving to Flow, we're really excited to kind of remove those barriers. And I think that there's a ton of people out there that are super into fantasy football that maybe aren't the most Web3 native, but with the ease of the fact that you can just sign up with an email address and a password and a credit card and buy a pack from us within 5 minutes, I think we're going to see a ton of user growth, and excited to be launching our best ball product in the next couple of days here.
One thing that's nice about that is seeing the numbers in US dollars when they're on Polygon and they're seeing 0.02 versus 0.01. Like they're not following how with the price of Ethereum at all times. So a lot of people that are into the Ethereum NFT world think in ETH terms. But I think a lot of people that are more of this demographic that want to be playing the game are thinking in US terms. A big benefit that you guys have using something like Flow, you've already been doing a lot on Flow with Own the Moment and bringing in the information that way. Is there going to be analytics through the same website on Own the Moment if you're a holder of a Jolly Joker or an Owners Club, or you just are a member at Own the Moment because you want to get interested in Top Shot? Is it all under the same membership?
So they're a bit different here, and this is kind of where the Jolly Jokers comes into play. So I can break that down a bit. So, I mean, I guess first off, for anyone that may not be familiar, we have our analytics platform for Own the Moment that has kind of been our bread and butter since day one. We have it for both NBA Top Shot and NFL All Day right now, and are always looking at adding more sports NFT projects to the platform. But everything for the past 18 months has been completely free on the analytics website. But later in late August, we're going to be going behind a paywall with our OTM Premium platform. And so what that means is that some of our more advanced tools like our challenge tracker, flash challenge terminal, sniper, basically the things that kind of take that next level of depth into the data is going to be going behind a paywall. And so there will be weekly, monthly, and annual subscriptions, a $200 annual subscription where you can subscribe to it in a traditional credit card type of way. However, as a part of our Jolly Jokers PFP, if you own a Jolly Joker, then what you can do is just connect your wallet on our website. And then by owning that NFT, you get lifetime access to OTM Premium for both Top Shot and for NFL All Day. So taking a little bit of a Web3 spin on the subscription service. It's not too different from what you guys did at Lucky Trader, right? With the Know Your Horses pass, just kind of the idea of a membership pass. I think in general that's kind of the future of subscription services, is more so just proving ownership of the NFT, of the digital asset, allowing that to unlock content behind a paywall. So that's one of the primary use cases of utility for the Jolly Jokers. And then we also have a ton more there. So the concept of token gated fantasy sports contests, right? So we have the Owner Club, we have packs that people can buy and open contests that people can play in. However, we're also going to be having token gated contests where only people that own a Jolly Joker are able to participate in those. And the first version that we have of those is going to be a part of our mint incentive, where there's 3 different TOC best ball tournaments with a total of $100,000 in prizes that people who mint Jolly Jokers are going to get free access to those. So the more Jolly Jokers that you mint, the more free packs that you get dropped into your account, and then you get access to the prize pools. And so people that mint 3 Jolly Jokers get access to the $50,000 tournament, which is the highest funded one. And then the people that mint 6 get access to a $20,000 tournament. So it'll be a smaller group of people, but more of a solid prize pool there. And then the generic tournament is a $30,000 prize pool. And then for every single Joker that you mint, you get 1 pack or entry into that tournament. So that's our first stab at the token gated contest, but really envision that being a core piece of the Own the Moment and Jolly Jokers and TOC ecosystem going forward.
Yeah, and so will that be set up similar to what you guys did with the playoff best ball, where you open a pack and you kind of mint your own lineup from there?
Exactly. Yeah. So the best ball game is going to be the game that launches first. It's going to be launching very soon, very, very soon.
Yeah.
We've got a lot
Only
going on
what,
right
like a
now
month
with
until
Jokers Mint and TOC Mint. Yeah.
NFL?
So within the next couple of days here, we're going to be launching TOC Best Ball. How that works is that it's just $10 to buy a pack. When you buy a pack, you open it up and there's 20 of our TOC cards in there. And then of those 20 that are in that pack, you create your 12 card lineup. So it's kind of a fun mix of luck of the draw in terms of what you get in your pack, and then the strategy of, okay, well, here's the 20 cards that I'm working with. How can I best put together this puzzle to create, the lineup that's going to give me the best chance throughout the season? And then once you mint your lineup, there's no more weekly management after that. So for anyone that's familiar with Underdog Best Ball, it's a similar concept where every single week throughout the entire NFL season, we will just be automatically entering your optimal lineup for you. So you don't need to set a lineup or pick things. We just automatically pick your best 6 cards of quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, and then a flex. And then the other fun aspect is that there will be a secondary marketplace for best ball. So you can buy and sell the lineups throughout the season directly off of the leaderboard. So yeah, we launched this for the playoffs last year. It was a ton of fun. It was only open for 3 days and we sold, I think, 8,000 packs. So really, really expecting a ton of action in best ball over the coming weeks. And it's just a really fun, easy way to, if you're an NFT person who doesn't know a ton about football, it's a fun, cheap, easy way to start learning about football. If you're a football fan that isn't really into NFTs, it doesn't really feel like an NFT experience, right? It's all a very Web 2-y kind of front end. It's connected with the Dapper wallet, so you don't have to worry about a MetaMask wallet or Ethereum or anything like that. And so that's kind of the quick summary of what best ball is for the Owners Club.
Yeah, and I think the difference with this versus the playoff one is there's way more combinations. There's way more weeks. There's all the teams are in it. With the playoffs, it's like if your team's out, then your card is out. But here it's a lot more live. You could be like 10 weeks in and be interested in buying a card because you know what the end of the season schedule is going to be. So you want to buy that one because that's a better chance of winning than the one you have. And I think that's where a lot of this comes into play with just NFTs and just utility when it comes to sports. The ability to buy something else that you want later into the season, because a lot of people in fantasy football, you're 10 weeks in, your team is 2-8 or whatever, you can't make the playoffs, then you check out. But here, if you're a team like that your team is struggling, you could still rebuy back in basically later in the season and try again with another team and have a secondary shot. So that's sort of the beauty behind this NFT meets fantasy that you guys are creating over there. So let's get a little deeper into the Jolly Jokers. So where did this come out? Let's talk a little about like what a Jolly Joker is, as far as like the it doesn't have to be necessarily the traits, but things like the supply, the overview of what a Jolly Joker is.
Yep, absolutely. So the Jolly Jokers is a collection of 5,000 NFTs that are built on the Flow blockchain. So a typical kind of PFP profile picture type of setup. We've got around 200 unique traits, different rarity levels. A lot of the traits are very focused around sports. And then we also have our 16 golden goats, which are going to be available for mint. You'll notice that the golden goats are reflective of some of the more popular athletes across the variety of different sports. So yeah, from that standpoint, it's a typical PFP in that way, but it's also a very heavy utility based project, as we were saying. So it gets you that access to OTM premium. It gets you that access to the mint incentive for the TOC token gated best ball contest and future token gated best ball contests. There's also in real life sporting event aspects where you'll have the opportunity to have access to the Jolly Joker community ticket fund, where we're going to have 100 pairs of tickets to a variety of sporting games. So you have the opportunity to go to wherever your local city may be, go to your favorite team's game. We did something similar last year with the Owners Club, where every single week we sent someone to an NFL game. So that was a ton of fun. And yeah, I mean, really at a high level, just pulling together a community of people that love sports and people that love Web3, or at least interested in the concept of Web3. And then another one of the fun things is that we are, as a part of this, have stood up our community partner program. So we've got over 30 community partners, and these are different people in kind of the tertiary sports NFT space. But how that will work is that during Mint, there's going to be a drop down where you can select a community of your choice to basically tie your wallet to that community. And then what happens there is that that community receives 10% of the minting fees, and then also receives 50% of any secondary marketplace royalties associated with that wallet. So it kind of creates this incentive where, we're able to bring together a bunch of communities in the space, provide them a direct financial incentive to get their communities on board with the Jolly Jokers. And then going forward, the idea is that we will have a ton of different cross community competitions. We already had our first one with the Open Championship a couple weeks ago, where we had over 550 people just enter a simple contest where you selected your golfers, you tied your entry to 3 of your favorite communities. So really leaning into, this idea of like fun competition, leaderboards. That's something that, I'm kind of super passionate about, and it was also like an underpinning of the Owners Club in general, right? It's like making fantasy football fun again. I feel like we all started playing fantasy football because it was a fun thing to do with 10, 12 of your buddies, and, talk some smack throughout the week and on Sunday when you're playing the games. And then all of a sudden, with the evolution of DraftKings and FanDuel, it became this like super serious thing where now, if you're not like literally running computer simulations of the slate, you're like just not going to win any money. So it's like, man, how can we simplify things a bit, make fantasy football fun again, and take that 12-person home league vibe and use the power and the ethos of Web3 to expand that community level to thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. And the Jolly Jokers is kind of a key crux of helping to make that happen with our community partners along our side.
Yeah, and then I have to ask, so why did you guys go with this sort of clown jester theme to it?
Yeah. So the original thing of the Joker originated from our Owners Club game. So in the Owners Club, there's the 32. There's cards that are reflective of the 32 teams or cities. And then there's a Joker card. The Joker card is basically the wild. So you can get if you have a quarterback Joker, each week you can select which team you want that Joker to represent. So it could be the Buffalo quarterback one week, and then the Kansas City quarterback the next week, and then the Baltimore quarterback the following week. The original concept was leaning into that Joker element there. And then just wanted something that was kind of like fun and silly, and not just another animal, because I feel like we'd seen enough animals come into play, and no one had really done anything that we'd seen with this Joker concept. So the Joker clown jester is what we landed on. We had a bunch of different art takes on it, found one that we thought was kind of the right level of silly and fun and a little bit slick and modern. I'm happy with how the art came out. I think we got a ton of cool traits as well. We've got the 5,000 pieces of art finalized, and I'm excited to start getting these into people's hands in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I do like the name with the jolly in front too.
Got to go with that alliteration,
Yeah, it's almost like these projects that don't have alliteration, you're like, come on, what are you even doing? Anyway, so let's get a little into the minting. We could touch on what you did a little bit for this pre-order, because I think that was somewhat unique and crossing with a couple different platforms. So let's first talk about the pre-order system that you had set up, and then we could get into the minting of new Jokers.
So for a couple of weeks, we ran what we called our pre-order system. And what this did is that there were 2 different ways where you could get on the list to pre-order a Jolly Joker, which basically just gets you first access and guaranteed access to mint a Joker. And so the first way that you could do that was by burning one of our TOC cards. So this concept of burning a card in order to, get some sort of perk is something that we've used quite a few times now. So like, for example, we had a March Madness bracket tournament where you could burn a card and you get entry into our March Madness tournament. So we've done that with a couple different sporting events and wanted to continue to lean into that concept. And then the second one was that if you sent 5 NBA Top Shot moments to our Jolly Jokers community wallet, then that also got you on the pre-order list with a preference for people sending us Nikola Jokic moments. So I think we're now like 4th on the Jokic leaderboard. So again, concept there of the Joker trying to climb that leaderboard just as like another fun little thing to do. And the community wallet is something that we're going to leverage for the community in the future, whether that's trading in to try and get some S1 packs to use for giveaways, etc. Really looking to the community on what they want to do there. The general idea behind this was that having someone create an action to get on the pre-order list and kind of give something up in a sense, whether it's a TOC card or 5 Top Shot moments, you can really get a feel for like who's actually interested in this project, right? Like anyone can click retweet on a random tweet to get on the whitelist, and you don't really know if they're actually invested or interested in your project. They're just kind of out there retweeting a bunch of different things. So, for us, it was really a way to get the most engaged people involved and get them that chance to have a guaranteed mint. And then for us, like just kind of thinking through supply and expectations, it really gives us a nice barometer of kind of where we're at and how many people we expect to be minting. So we ended up with right around 900 people on the pre-order list, which was fantastic and a really, really solid start there. So pre-order minting is going to begin this week on Thursday. So people that are on that pre-order list will have the chance to come in. They'll be able to mint up to 3 Jolly Jokers for each list that they're on. And then next week on Monday, we're starting with the whitelist mint. And then the following Wednesday is the public mint. Yeah. So anyone that is listening to this show and, maybe is hearing about this for the first time, didn't get a chance to get on the pre-order list, we can definitely hook up some whitelist spots for the lucky trader community. Can definitely, we can work together maybe behind the scenes, Lou, to make that happen and make sure that people that hear this and are interested and want to be involved in the project definitely want to get you guys the opportunity, the chance to mint.
Yeah, maybe we'll have something along the lines of if they hear it from here, would you want them to DM you or DM maybe the Jolly Jokers account, say that they heard it from the Lucky Trader podcast?
Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, I would say, I guess you can follow us on Twitter at jollyjokersnft. It's on my name right here if you're watching on video. You can also join the Jolly Jokers Discord from there. And yeah, either DM us on the Jolly Jokers Twitter account, or if you join the Jolly Jokers Discord, you'll see Jolly Coop is kind of our head of community that's been running the Jolly vibes in the Discord. You can reach out to him and he'll make sure that he gets you hooked up and on the list.
I know Coop was doing a lot of the sort of customer service side on Owners Club, like all himself. And it's a lot easier when you're able to leverage Dapper. And so what sort of relationship do you guys have with Dapper themselves? Are you pretty interconnected? Issues that people have, they'll go through you, or do they go through Dapper?
Yeah, oof, man, there was a ton of customer service that went into the Owners Club last year. And, a lot of the main issues, like we saw a lot of the same, like 2 or 3 issues that would cause problems. And much of it came with like blockchain syncing between what was happening on the chain versus what was happening in our UI. So I think first and foremost, by moving to Flow, we eliminate a lot of those scenarios just in general. Theoretically, we should not have these customer service issues. Something always comes up, and I'm sure there will be some different problem that arises. But theoretically, I think there will be a lot more management from a customer service standpoint. But people will still work directly through us. We've got a ticketing system in our Discord. We also have a ticketing system from Zendesk that we've added to our analytics website that will include on the Owners Club as well. But we'll definitely be handling all of that. And then when it comes to Dapper, I mean, definitely have a good, solid relationship with them there. They were an early investor in our pre-seed round last June. We've obviously always been building around kind of the Dapper ecosystem. And now that we are actually directly building on Flow, have definitely gotten support from there. We're able to get the Dapper wallet integration completed, which I think is a big step and a key cog there. So yeah, our goal I know in the moment is to be the number one builders on Flow. And,
Yep.
I think we certainly have a path and a trajectory to do that. And that includes the Jolly Jokers. It includes the Owners Club. And, we've got a million other ideas that we'd love to get into as soon as we execute on these couple of things. Yeah, super, super stoked about it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. And if I'm being honest, I think Flow in general is a great blockchain. It's really easy to use, but I think there's been a little bit of a lack of innovation in some of the projects that are available on Flow right now, outside of the ones with the leagues. And so, I'm hoping that we're able to kind of bring a little something new to the table that gives people that have a bunch of balance sitting in Dapper something fun and unique and innovative that they can spend that balance on.
Yeah, I think Solana's had some issues like that too, where a lot of these other blockchains try to copy what was successful on Ethereum and not try to like do their own thing. So I could definitely see that on Flow. But I guess before I let you go, like let's talk a little about how someone can be prepared for the mint, because a lot of people have probably used Top Shot, but don't necessarily know, if they didn't use Top Shot, how they would be able to mint something on Flow. If there's a way that, not sure if we have to go through like every single step, but do they need a certain wallet? Do they have to set it up? Do they have to do KYC, things like that?
If you have a Dapper wallet, then you'll be good to go. So this means basically if you've ever had an account on Top Shot or All Day or UFC Strike or any of these other products, you'll already be set there. So you can actually go to our website right now, jollyjokersnft.com, and in the top and in the main screen, we have our Connect wallet. So if you already have a Dapper wallet and your Dapper wallet is connected in your browser, like it'll literally be as simple as you click the button, you'll see a window pop up briefly. Either you'll have to log into your Dapper account from there, or if you've already done it, it'll literally just auto log you in. If you do not have a Dapper account, then that's also fine. You'll have that same window pop up, and then you'll just go directly through the registration flow with Dapper, which again is like takes 2 seconds. You just need your email, your password, and you sign up in that way. And then once you have connected your wallet, when you go to mint, it's literally exactly like buying a Top Shot moment. So you'll select how many Jolly Jokers you want to mint. And then once you click mint, you'll get basically kicked into the Dapper wallet flow, where you'll see your Dapper balance. You'll have the option to buy directly with a credit card if you don't have any Dapper balance, and you go through the purchase flow in that way, the same way that you would buying a Top Shot or All Day or UFC Strike moment. So should be a really familiar process to anyone that's bought any of those products. But also, even if you haven't before, it's very, very intuitive and easy to figure out, which again is like the number one reason why we decided to make this move. And my goal the whole time has been like, especially for the Owners Club, right? Like I want a situation where you're hanging out with your buddies at noon on a Sunday at a bar, and you're like, yo, I'm playing this awesome fantasy football game called the Owners Club. You should check it out. And then within 5 minutes from their phone at the bar, their friend has been able to sign up, connect their Dapper wallet, and buy a $10 pack just like that. And with our setup last year, that just like literally wasn't possible, especially on mobile, because you have to go into the MetaMask app and use the browser in there. So now it'll just be like right from Safari, log into your Dapper, make your purchase. And we've also like upgraded the UX of Owners Club by like 100 times for this coming year. I'm really, really excited to get that out there. We put a ton of time and effort and resources and money into building out the platform. And, it also sets us up for scale here, where we can easily create new contests, easily add new sports. Whereas last year it was very much proof of concept last year of like, okay, we're building this like very specific game to do this and coding it to do this very specific thing. So we kind of scrapped everything, rebuilt from scratch, and in an architectural way that allows us to scale to many, many sports and bring hundreds of thousands of people onto the TOC and OTM platform.
Yeah, and I think the scalability is something that's pretty big, and based on different blockchains, it's a little harder to scale versus others. But because there's not too many projects on Flow yet, that also is a benefit to being a little earlier. I like where you said proof of concept. I do consider a lot of NFT projects that came out in 2021 proof of concept, because it's just people are still figuring out what NFTs are, what their capabilities are. So it's sort of that's your version 1. You got it out before the season started. You have that specific date, and then you have all this time leading up to now, this season, where people already recognize the name, people have played the game before, or have a good sense of what is going on with the Owners Club side game. People have a good sense of PFP projects and how they work, and just the idea of using a Dapper wallet being able to be on Flow. So I like how that you used it that way, where it was the proof of concept, and now you're ready to take that next step and start sort of launching it as this ecosystem as you described it earlier. So is there anything else that you wanted to maybe plug while I had you on?
Just say in general, make sure you're well, following us at Own the Moment NFT. That's our main Twitter account there. But then also at Jolly Jokers NFT. Go ahead, get into the Jolly Jokers Discord. We're available there pretty much 24/7 to answer any questions that you may have. And yeah, hopefully everyone found this informative, and looking forward to seeing people with some Jolly Joker PFPs, see people opening up TOC best ball packs. TOC Classic will be launching late this month, early next month. So it's gonna be a fun football season, and like just in general, super bullish on NFL all day as well. One thing that we didn't touch on actually is our game Rumble for NFL all day. So that's also going to be launching later this month, where people can use their NFL all day moments to play in a different kind of game there to compete for Dapper balance and prizes each week. Ton of fun stuff going on. And, our goal is really that every Sunday this year, like Own the Moment is your home for fantasy or just football in general in Web3, whether that's playing the Owners Club, playing Rumble, looking at the NFL all day challenges that are going on, buying and selling on the marketplace, following the box scores. We've got a pretty comprehensive setup that we're pumped to have people, sitting in the terminal all day on Sunday.
I think that's a good way to word it. Like, there's a lot of now, as each season comes out, since they're so spread apart, like the next NFL season starts next September, a lot can happen over that year. So you guys are getting your feet wet. You've already had 2 seasons under your belt of going through these things. Some other, say, like big player comes in, or just in general, these other competition come in, people are going to look for the one that's been around 2 years, has gotten all the kinks out, has knows what works for people, what doesn't. So I think that's a huge benefit of being on season 2 here for you guys. So excited to see how that plays out, and excited to see what goes with Jolly Jokers. So thanks for hopping on today. I think we got a lot of good information out for the people, and we will catch you guys next time.